So groups and workshops. So I'm obviously Peter Wise. I'm one of the autism mentors with the Faraway CIC. And then there will be Chrissy Blackburn, who is the project lead, the autism mentor project lead. So just a brief what we'll run through with me. So I'm going to be talking about the groups today. So what groups are the Faraway CIC facilitating? Who can come along? When do they happen? How do you join? And then I'll have some, if there's any questions, just feel free to put them in the chat and I'll try and answer them. So what groups are the Faraway CIC facilitating? So at the moment, all our groups are online on Zoom due to obviously COVID. So we've got mindfulness, employment and work, friendship, arts and crafts. So mindfulness group with Lucy. So it's a group for people who have previously attended mindfulness training. This is a peer group where mindful techniques are combined with peer support and conversation. The group is facilitated by Lucy, who offers both some structure and ideas to the session and space for reflection and confidential sharing of experiences. This group happens every week and it's kept to very small numbers, currently 4. So a bit of an introduction to mindfulness. So the Faraway CIC mindfulness group is for those who are already some understanding and training in mindfulness. An introductory course is available via June Spencer and the Adult Autism Service in January. June is not affiliated directly with the Faraway CIC, but she is recommended by mentors and those who receive support within the Faraway CIC. And those attending the Faraway CIC's mindfulness group should first have attended June's course or similar. So the next mindfulness group through the autism service, it's just a poster here telling you when it begins. So beginning of January 2021 up until March 2021. And any more details on that, if you contact the Adult Autism Service to book your place. So employment and work with Peter. So this is a group we've got going and it's currently running every 2 weeks. So the peer mentor group is for those who wish to think about their experience of the world of paid work, voluntary work, employment and productivity in the widest sense. So group members may be in employment or not, but the common theme is the recognition that the world of work can be very challenging for autistic people. So there is a space for discussion, reflection and action. So the group is small and can shape the content, but themes include self-employment, CV building, confidence building, interview skills, what do we mean by work, experiences of paid and unpaid work, etc. So the group currently meets every 2 weeks. It's a relatively new group and still open to new members. If group members wish to receive individual peer mentorship outside the group, they can contact myself, and my email address is just peter@thefarawaycic.org, and you can contact me up. Bear with me, I see the chat function popping up. I didn't know if it was a question or.
I think it's just people saying hi.
Okay, sorry. So friendship group. This is a new group that we've that came to discussion and we've decided to put on. So we have listened to the members of other groups and understand that there is a real need for people to meet for no other reason than to make friendship with others. And I think especially during this lockdowns and stuff, I don't know about other people, but I've felt very isolated, and just being able to get together with people online really has helped. So there's no other agenda to this new group. So Baker's Rogers 2017 suggests that whilst many autistic people make strong friendships, they may mistrust their skills to do so and make negative comparisons to those they consider neurotypical. We know many people with autism lack the confidence to meet others for the first time, so this new group will be small and fun. We may do chat, do quizzes, make things, or just have a cup of tea together. So arts and craft groups. This is with Lucy, Jay and Peter again. So we recognise that so many people love being creative, and obviously the presentation from Lucy, which was incredible about the art exhibition, and I know it sparked with me. I've started to do a lot of poetry, which I used to do, So there's so much creative talent out there and so many people who take joy from making something new. The group is brand new, so the structure will be that you can bring something you like doing along, share and chat about it, and if you wish, we'll ask for help and advice, and then you'll have the space to work on your project during the session. You can work alone for an hour and come back to share with others at the end if you wish, or you can stay online with others throughout. At the end of the session, we'll all come together and can choose to share our progress if we wish. There's no pressure to talk. It's okay just to see what others are making and get ideas too. So who can come along to the groups? If you're an autistic adult, you can come along. The groups are mostly closed, which means that once the group has started, it's up to the membership whether new members can join. This is so that everybody feels comfortable with the size of the group. If we feel that too many people would like to join a group, we'll look at creating some new groups. When do groups happen? So the mindfulness group is 11 AM to 12 noon on Fridays. The employment group is currently 4 PM to 5 PM every other Monday. The next session is Monday the 7th of December, and it will be about covering letters and CV skills. So if anybody wants to join that, just hit me up with an email and I'll send you the Zoom link. The friendship group, 10 AM to 11 AM on Mondays, and that's starting from Monday the 7th of December. So that again is next week. Arts and crafts groups, 11 AM to 12:30 PM on Mondays, and that's starting Monday the 7th of December. So as you can see, lots of groups coming up and to get excited about. So how do you join? There is no form to fill out, just leave us a message on one of the following and we'll get back to you about availability. So you can go onto the farawaykick.org website, and if you haven't been on there, go on there because it tells you a lot about who we are and lots of updates up on the website, or email info@thefarawaykick.org, or as all along we've been saying, you can email us individually at our names at thefarawaykick.org, or you can telephone 01472 5711 00 and leave a message and someone will get back to you as soon as possible. So workshops, I'll hand you over to Chrissy for this part.
Okay, thank you, Peter. I might need you then to work through the slides if that's okay. Yeah, is that okay? Right, yeah, sure. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the workshops and how they're different from what Peter's already talked about and the groups, and how it links to the membership of the Faraway Kick. So we're going to talk about what's the difference between the workshops and the groups that Peter's just talked about. What workshops are we looking at offering? And if people want to put ideas in the chat about either groups which are closed or workshops where you might want a taster of something, please write things in there as we go along, because you might have some really good ideas about things you want to learn a little bit about. So who can come along? I'm going to talk about that, how much they cost, because there is a cost for the workshops, there isn't for the groups, when they're happening, and how do I find out about them. Okay, so these are the main differences. The groups are really part of what the mentors do. It's part of mentoring, and so they're small and supportive. The workshops are larger groups or forums. There's less of a limit on how many people can go to most of the workshops. So the groups are mostly closed, and they're viewed as mentoring groups with no cost. The workshops are open to anybody, but you either have to be a member of the Faraway Kick, in which case it's free, or you have to pay a fee to come along. And I'll talk about why that is in a minute. Groups, you'll get to meet the same people each time. So it's really a friendship kind of setting for all the groups. At workshops, it'll be a bit more like today, where there'll be opportunities to be a little bit more anonymous, perhaps, but to maybe learn a new skill or hear a new idea in a larger group. Groups are regular, so they're going to be weekly or fortnightly. As Peter was saying with the groups, we're about to start some new ones. If there's anything you heard about that Peter talked about, now's the time to email us and request to come, because you'll be starting at the beginning of those. The workshops are just one-off taster sessions or clusters of sessions. If we can't fit something in one session, we've made a cluster of sessions. Groups are more discussion based because they're smaller. That can be facilitated, and hopefully people will feel more comfortable with that sort of situation because you'll get to know people. The workshops are more practical, so there's less discussion. The groups focus upon peer support and mentoring, and the workshops focus upon learning new skills and ideas. So they are quite different things. So I'm just going to give you some examples of some of the things we're going to put on next year, and there'll be more than this. We're looking at putting on about 10, but if people have more ideas than that, there's no sort of real limit to that, but we want to say that we'll commit to putting on at least 10 workshops next year. So this is one with Danny, who is, as you can see, a fantastic three-dimensional artist who's going to do, I was going to say amateur artist, but I think her stuff is really great. And she does mod rock modelling. So we've been talking quite a bit about this in our meetings because we all wanted to know about what this is. And it's also known as plaster bandage. I've done some Googling about it, and it's basically making three-dimensional models with plaster bandage. So if people want to come along to that, drop us a line by the website. It's £15 if you're not a member, or it's free if you're a member of the KIC. You will need to bring some things to the Mod Rock workshop, and that might be the case for some of the workshops while we're actually remote, because we can't share resources with everybody being on computers. So we'll let you know in advance if there's stuff you need to get in. Thanks, Peter. So Lucy and I are really excited about this set of workshops, the 3 workshops in January on self-esteem, and we know that that's an issue for so many of us. It's a set of workshops that will hopefully have a creative sort of side to them, edge to them, and we would expect that people came to all 3 of them, so that actually a bit like the groups, the membership's a little bit more closed with that. So they start at 1:30 on those days, on those Thursdays and Fridays in January. Lucy, she may have told you a background. I'm really sorry I missed the beginning of Lucy's, but Lucy comes from an art background, and she's also got counselling qualifications, and I come from a psychology background. So we hope to bring sort of art and work around how people feel about themselves together in that. Thanks, Peter. And you just met Rosemary. So here's Rosemary again, who is a writer. You may have picked up on the fact that Rosemary is a published writer, and she's kindly offered to offer to give 4 workshops, all to do with reading and writing the modern fantasy novel. So she'll be doing all sorts of things around the genre, around thinking about settings, characters and plots. You'll be able to bring your favourite fantasy novel, a pen and paper and laptop, and submerge yourself in the exciting world of fantasy novels. So if you're interested in that, or you'd like to know more about that, or you fancy doing some writing in a sort of fantasy style, this will be a really exciting opportunity. This shows you a little bit of how diverse some of the workshops are going to be. So if people do have ideas, there isn't a limit to the sort of themes of the workshops. This is a taster session in Sign Along, and for people who don't know, and I didn't know much about it at all, but I've done a little bit of finding out. It's a little bit like Makaton, although I'm sure that Teresa would say it isn't completely like that, where people learn to sign along with spoken language, and it's particularly there for to help us to support people who don't make sense of spoken language. So that might be people with severe learning disabilities, or people who've experienced some sort of brain trauma and find understanding spoken language difficult. So it's a little taste of how we might help those people as a community to sign along to what we're saying. If people were really interested in that and they found that they wanted to do more, Teresa and Gerlin said they also offer an accredited course. So that would be something we would have to look at with them around a longer course. But this is a taster to see if people have an interest in that. And some other workshops that we haven't got posters or dates for yet, but people have come forward to say they'd like to do. Poetry for all. You've already heard quite a few people have been talking about how they really enjoy poetry. So we thought it would be good to have somebody who's a poet in to run a workshop. Lyrics to music, so a different sort of poetry. this is around thinking about how do people actually start to create lyrics to music? How do you go about that? So the idea would be that there will be a piece of music, and Jay, who you may know, writes his own music, he's a musician himself, would be helping people to think about how they would put particular lyrics to particular pieces of music. Guerrilla filmmaking, which is sort of independent filmmaking, so helping people who are new to the idea of filmmaking to think about starting to do that, and anything else people want to do, really. So if you've got ideas for facilitators, if you've come across somebody that you think is a great facilitator, or a topic that's really interesting, it doesn't have to interest everybody. You know, some people will want some workshops and some people want something else. So please let us know. So I mentioned prices for the workshop. Sorry about my dog, thank you. The reason we put a price on there is because the money spent on the workshops helps to contribute financially to the KIC, which helps to support the mentors, to support other people. So we have to generate some income in order to support what we're doing as our work, supporting individual mentees in the KIC. So that's what the prices for the workshop go towards. However, if you become a member of the KIC, and the information about this is on the website, for £29 a year, you can have free access to all the workshops. So if you think about it, if they're all about £15 after 2 workshops, you've saved yourself money. But you also get early bird access. So you'll be first on the list if you'd like to go to a workshop. You also have the knowledge that you're helping support a community interest company to support autistic people to live their best lives. You will have access to autism related training and events as they're made available to the mentors and directors of the KIC. So as we have things that are of interest to our mentors, we'll also be thinking, is this something that is relevant and interesting to our members? And you get the Faraway KIC goodie bag, importantly, which includes a subscription to the Happy News. And this is it, this is the exciting bit of what you get in your pack. I sent a message, I don't know if anybody's able to respond about how often the Happy newspaper comes out for our members. I don't know if Jane's able to let us know that. I couldn't remember if it was if it's 2 a year, or if it was
So sorry, Chrissy, I'll answer that then. The Happy newspaper, you get a copy of that within the membership pack, but you get it, it's every year that you get that, but it does come out quarterly. So if it's something that people are interested in, then they can sign up themselves, but you get a free copy as part of your membership pack every year.
Thanks, Jane. There's Laurie's book, which is a fantastic book that we're giving away free as part of the membership pack, along with a bookmark with the little monsters on it. And I recommend that book even if you're not a member. Laurie's probably not spoken about it, it's probably been modest, but it's a really great book to think about how you can turn negative feelings and negative experiences into something positive. The fidget spinner there, which is a really good quality one that we've been trying out. Everybody's got one of those. All the mentors have got one of those, and I've got one that they're a really particularly good one. The badge and the pen. So that's the pack. I didn't know if Peter wanted to say something finally about this, which isn't a group or a workshop, but I felt fitted.
Yeah. So this is the Christmas catch-up. For the last few years in my previous job, I've worked Christmas Day, and it was something that was really important to me and something I really appreciated, because it can be quite a lonely time. So we're running just a session for an hour on Christmas morning. Just pop along and have a chat, and it'll be via Zoom, and we can just share a bit of time. So yeah, that's that for me.
Thank you. So the only thing really from us is if anybody's got any ideas right now that they want to share about what else we could be doing, what other groups or what other workshops you would be interested in attending.